Okay, we are here with Grandmaster Julian Masson of Adrenaline Combatives. I've come here on purpose to try and hone some of my MMA skills for the street in a more practical sense, because I've grown up doing MMA my whole life and traditional martial arts, and lots of those techniques are great if you're fighting another opponent because they know that you're going to try something and you're going to try something. You've consensually agreed to a combat situation. However, for the doors and for security and for bodyguarding work, we actually need to have a non-consensual type of combat where combat just turns up at your doorstep when you're least ready for it. So let's go.
Coward! Help! Help!
Right, how are we doing? This is Julian Mason here. Well, first thing I wanted to say to Fred, I'm trying to stay away as much as possible from the kind of title, you know, Grandmaster, Master, Sifu, Hanchi and all that stuff. Because to me, it's very ego-driven, you know what I mean? I'm no master, I'm just a simple human being. So the difference between combatives and martial art is that combatives were designed for the worst case scenario. It was designed for soldiers going behind enemy lines. So that's where we have a look at lethal application and deadly force. As opposed to martial arts and combat sports that are more for the art and for the sportive platform. Even though the martial arts, you can get all the physical attributes that you need to be a good fighter, the mindset and the psychology is very, very different in the martial art than it is for combatives. Because combatives is to basically fight to the death, fight for your life. We have a look at preemption. Right? Preemption means that he gave me some sign of aggression and he told me that he was about to do something to me. So remember, eye contact, frowning, speaking through his teeth, veins popping out here and there.
The lips go
yeah,
like
the fist is clenched and all of a sudden he shifts his weight. Or even worse, he shifts his weight and his elbow pops up and his hand disappears in the background, which indicates that he might be accessing something. Right? At which point you don't want to wait.
No.
You don't want to wait to see what he's accessing. You know he's accessing something. So how can you preempt? So let's say you got different targets, right? In here you're offering me a target, a circular move, where I have to use a circular move, either a hook, right? Either a long hook, or a slap, right? Or a short slap, right? It could be that, right? Do you need to aim for the center line of the head, right? So as I'm here, for example, I could have this. I'm already talked to the guy, and the guy is being aggressive, and all of a sudden he tells me what he's gonna do. He tells me he's gonna do something to me, and all of a sudden I see him shifting his way, or his hand disappears in the background, and he's being really threatening, and I'm like, shit, what is he gonna do? At which point I might step to the side here, and I might go, I might throw a slap, right, to take his head off, right? So I could break down the body mechanics a little bit, right? Where I'm here, I'm gonna push shuffle and I'm gonna use a drop step in that direction as I'm twisting my hip. Also, what I could do to set it, I could go, what are you saying, mate? I can't understand what you're saying. Hand close to my pocket and I'm getting close to his head. This allows me to make a tiny little step to the side to create the angle, and I'm, what do you mean? And then throw my slap from there, right? So that would be a big slap. Let's say now that I got my right foot forward, I'm in some sort of southpaw stance, right? And I got some sort of fence here where I'm protected, where I can protect myself against any shots that he would throw. And I'm here, and what I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do a little step. I said, what do you mean, right? Tiny little step. Look how close my hand is. My hand is about that close to the target. The goal here is to generate enough power to knock him out from that sort of distance. So I'm like here, I'm like, what do you mean? Right?
And that wasn't as powerful.
That wasn't.
But it's more than enough to disorientate someone.
Definitely.
So that's exactly why I did what I did.
Yeah.
Because you don't necessarily have the chance to go and do a full telegraph like that.
Of course.
But the thing is, not every shot has to destroy them.
Absolutely.
Has to hurt them to the fucking greatest extent, you know?
Some shots are entry that allow you to go for a follow-up.
Yeah.
Right? So look, for example, I could be here, I could be here and talking to this guy, and the target is here. I could have this shot here, which is a hammer fist. I could have this, or it could be a back fist, right? I could have this shot, following this shot.
I suppose
right?
that's better. Like if you see that I'm coming from over here,
Yes.
then you have time in which to telegraph that.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
also not only that, imagine he's here,
If
right?
I'm already close to you here, you don't have the luxury to do that type
No,
of thing.
from there it's
Yeah.
gonna be, from there if it's that close and I'm here, it's gonna be that and that. You know what I mean? But look, if he's there, let's imagine now he's got a mate here, and I'm already trying to deal with this guy, and all of a sudden I feel this guy coming through. If he's far enough and I'm here, I'm talking to that guy and I'm like boom, boom, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm re-engaging this guy. If he's really close and I'm talking to this guy is a bit closer and I'm here, boom, boom, and then I'm here and I'm dealing with this guy now. So the movement is the same, right? It's a reverse movement accompanied by a circular movement, or a reverse movement accompanied by a circular movement, right? Whether it's an elbow or it's a hammer fist to a slap, the movement is the same. But look at here, it's very simple, just kickboxing type of pad work, right? Like Muay Thai kind of pad work, where there's going to be some knees, there's going to be some shit kicks, there's going to be some elbows, there's going to be some punches, right? I'm just going to give him some angles, nice on the feet, on the ball of the feet, nice and relaxed. Again, pop, boom, 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 nice, and create the space at the end. Okay, okay. Once again, boom, 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 nice, nice. One more time. Nice. Okay, now what he's going to do, he's going to throw jab, cross, so jab, cross, hook, leg kick. Huh? Jab, cross, hook, leg kick. Nice. Nice and fluid. Jab, cross, hook, leg kick. Nice. Jab, cross, hook, boom, that's it. Check your distance. Jab, cross, hook, boom, that's it. Jab, cross, hook, left kick, left hook, right hand. That's it. Again. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. Well done. The game you're good at is having somebody in front of you and you got all your tools here. You got all your tools here, you got everything here. That's the game you're good at. As soon as somebody steps offline, what you need to be good at doing is engaging one shot to get back to what you're good at. So if I'm here, boom, and now look, now I'm here, boom, 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 I'm doing all my thing here. If I'm here, what do I have to do? I have to raise my shoulder up just in case there is a shot coming at me. I'm here, and I'm here, boom, boom, and now all of a sudden I'm here, I'm facing you. Like if you're standing here, for example, right, and I'm, for example, dealing with this guy, that's the same thing from here, boom, boom, and now I'm here. So that's why you need to be good at fighting southpaw as well.
You know, it's like the transition, like how a cowboy would have to draw his gun before he can use it.
Yes.
Or the samurai has to draw his sword
Yes.
and then use it immediately.
It relates to that. So from there, as I'm talking to this guy, I have to find a way to strike him from where I am, right? So from here, look, if you come here, if my hands are here, just put your hands where your junk is, right? Protect your balls, that's it. As I'm here, my hands are here, boom, that's it. That would be the first thing. If the guy is facing me and my hands are down, the first thing I'm going to do is boom, here, attack the groin, and then I attack this. And from there, let's say from here, there, boom, 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 and then I go on to my boxing game after. That's what you're good at.
Yeah.
What you want to work on.
Being able to get to the point where you can do the normal MMA stuff, which is 2 or 3 seconds into the fight. Rather than the start of the fight.
But you want to start. You want to be able to strike 360-degree around in order to get to a position where now that's it. You're back to your game, right? Because here you're not in your game. All you have to do is attack the groin, attack the face, and boom, big right hand, and now you're in your game, right? Next thing I wanted to speak about is the headbutt and its application in a street situation, right? So a lot of people, I see them teaching the headbutt, right? And you can tell from the way they teach it that they've never thrown a headbutt in their life, right? Especially the people going and doing this, right? Because all it takes is Fred to drop his head and I end up busting my nose onto his head, and it adds the opposite effect, right? So the goal with the headbutt is to hurt him, not to hurt me, right? So really what I like from there is the fence. Remember the fence, we talk about it today, is from the fence here, right? It's what you don't want to do is you don't want to throw a headbutt from a range where you can punch, right? Why would you not punch? If you're in a range where you can punch, why would you throw a headbutt? If you're in a range where you can kick, why would you throw a headbutt from there? It makes no sense. The headbutt is really where we're here, we're really close, and here, and all of a sudden from here I can go boom here, right? Using the crown of my head as much as possible. I don't want to use my forehead or my nose or anything like that. I want to use where the hairline is, right? Where the receding hairline is. Right there, boom here, that's where it is. So what I like to have some sort of side clinch, right, where I am, one sec, just to show you, where I am here. I got some sort of side clinch here, and from there I'm dropping my body weight, boom, as I'm going there, which I can continue with the headbutt. So what I taught Fred the other day, he's got the guard up. What I want to do is I want to negotiate this. I want to negotiate this with this hand and crash in with this, and he wants to lift that higher, and boom here, and boom here, and you want to meet it slightly as well when I go. So I'm here, I want to negotiate here. I'm just talking to the guy. I negotiate this crashing. Yeah, just a few more times, if that's okay. I'm here, negotiate this crashing, right? Again, I'm here, negotiate this, crashing, headbutt, elbow, right? Last one, I'm here, I will negotiate this, crashing with my forearm. I'm crashing with the hard part of my bone into his neck, right? So I'm there, negotiate this, crack, grab the clothing, headbutt, elbow, at which point I can disengage and throw something else at the end, right? We're not gonna have a look too much at what we can do after. I just want Fred to do the very basics. Nice. Jab, cross, hook. Boom, boom. Finish with the knee. Boom. Jab, cross, hook. Up. Jab, cross, hook. 1, 2, 3.